if I were to ask you, like, what prompted you to take that decision at that point in time where you dropped out of school?
My mom used to play the Veena, and when she was playing, I noticed a mistake. Suddenly, I just, started tearing up, listening to my own Sadhana. Music is much like other fields. It's not like interest just, sprouts from nowhere.
Right.
It is developed. A lot of what we call interest and love for music is developed.
Right.
The more you slog, the more you become interested in it. To, get this slowness inculcated in my music.
Right.
And that I feel brings in this feeling of a certain sense of healing or repose, which I personally enjoy. It's the version that we learn from our gurus,
Right.
or a recording or
Right.
whatever. That has gone through so many iterations. We don't know what the original was.
Absolutely.
I feel there are a lot of myths and misconceptions around the Veena, and I've had many, even musicians tell me that, and many Rasikas share that. So one of my main focuses has been how to try and break those myths. And
Thank you so much,
my pleasure.
Ramana,
Yeah.
for speaking today.
Yeah.
Today at Hyderabad, we had a very long Nadopasana session,
Yeah.
so you must be tired. But still, thank you for taking out the
My
time
pleasure.
and
Yeah.
sharing, your journey. So, want to start right from the point in time where you dropped out of school. I mean, that's if we basically focus on that time, and if I were to ask you, like, what prompted you to take that decision at that point in time where you dropped out of school?
So, thanks to my father, who was reading a lot about alternative schooling, and he wanted me to have a rich life experience in childhood, and he didn't want me to waste that. And he did feel that the school system was kind of quite monotonous in its ways, and he wanted me to have a richer lifestyle and wanted me to learn things at my own pace and more deeply. And it was more that dissonance with the education system that prompted him to de-school me.
Right.
And at that point, I was not aware of its seriousness. I was like, it was just another day when he came and said, how would it be if you were out of school and just studying, from home? I said, okay, let's try it out.
Right.
So, but I happened to, it so happened that I think that's one of the best decisions in my life. And I got a lot of time to learn the stuff that I wanted to at my own pace, including academics. So the first few years were actually pretty intense in the sense that I would work a lot on math with my father.
Okay.
And progress a lot.
4th class or 5th class?
This was after my 5th grade.
After 5th class.
Yeah, from 6th. So I quickly advanced in math.
Right.
And then music came in and then completely consumed me. So,
Right.
But because I was homeschooled, I was able to dedicate a lot of intense time for music.
Right.
And
Right. And in 5th class and then before, so okay, let's also talk about like when you started with music, because you are good at vocal music, mridangam, and the veena also.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to really understand was, when did each one of these 3 arts start for you?
Yeah.
And how they integrated? And then we will connect it to the school time.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, my entry into music was through mridangam. So my parents noticed me just banging on whistles and everything. So I think they noticed that penchant for Liam, I guess. So I started learning mridangam when I was 4. I had a gap, and then I continued. And then Veena came in as an accident. I think I've told this story many times too. Basically, my mom used to play the Veena, and when she was playing, I noticed a mistake in playing, and then said that to her, and then she was surprised. She took me to her guru, and under whom I learned the basics for about 3 years.
Okay.
So that was my entry into Veena. And then I was anyway learning vocal lessons from my mom, Geetam and all that. And then after...
So all three were going on parallel?
Parallelly, yeah. There was a point where I realized that my calling was in Veena. So, and I thought that Veena had the most scope for in my mind. So I wanted to pursue that deeply. So when you want to do something really deeply, or try to do it very deeply, you have to cut off distractions. So that's how vocal and mridangam took a backseat. I do sing and play mridangam whenever I, just for the love of it.
Right. Yeah. So help build a timeline to this, right? So you, at the age of 4, you started with mridangam.
Yeah.
And then mridangam continued till what age? And when did it take a backseat?
So mridangam continued for about 3 years, and then I had a gap of 3 years again.
Achha.
And then I restarted mridangam under another guru. That also had a gap. Then I restarted when I was about maybe 9, 10.
Okay.
That happened for 3 years.
Okay.
That was going on.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I was just, learning vocal lessons from my mom. So that was around maybe between the ages of 5 to like 9 vocal lessons.
Okay.
And then when I started performing at 12,
Okay.
I realized that I needed more guidance and better guidance. That's when my father came into the picture.
Okay.
So he's my music guru, as you know.
Right.
And that's when he started coaching me. And we used to have very long sessions at home.
Right.
And it's like guru in residence, right? So very blessed to have a father as my guru, and he's my best critique, and he rips apart my concerts. So it's a big blessing.
Right. And this is something more of what your mother and father would remember in your childhood, say between the age of 4 to 7, where kids are very naughty and distracted very easily, right? So how are you? I mean, you kind of even now seem to be a very focused person. Was this the same then?
Then it was, I can't say I was like super focused, but neither did I have any, one of my parents enforced any routine into me.
Right.
So it was just
A very
like
natural-
hard schedule or anything.
Right.
But I did remember, there was no, Instagram, YouTube then.
Correct.
So I think I just escaped it narrowly.
Right.
Then I did get distracted afterwards, maybe between the ages of 12 to 17.
Right.
And but throughout there was this obsession with something musical, and it was not that I would attend too many concerts or anything, but mridangam used to be a big obsession for me.
Right.
Between the ages of 4 to 8 to even like 10.
Right.
To the extent that I would have my classmates who knew nothing about Carnatic music, and I would say, "Look how beautifully Palakkad Raghu sir is playing." So that was a big obsession. So that was one of my escape routes. I would take the mridangam, try to imitate people. And
Right.
Yeah, it was a big.
Right. And you're blessed to have parents who have no music, right?
Absolutely.
So when you were practicing at home, possibly you were getting corrected,
All the
when there
time.
was an apashruti and
All the
that.
time.
How many hours, do you remember you typically used to do music on your own between, say, 5 to 10? I know it would be an evolutionary thing.
Yeah, 5 to 10, not much actually.
Okay.
My most intense years were after, say, 11. After 11, yeah. So, when you have to perform,
Right.
you have a new level of responsibility and quality that is expected of you.
Right.
So that's when Appa and I would have very long sessions, and at that age, maybe like when I was between 11 to 15, we'd go like maybe 4 to 6 hours. And I was obviously studying as well.
Right.
So some days, 4 to 6 hours would. And then, you have 12th standard and then all that. So on and off. But not much between 5 to 10. Because after that, I was quite intense.
Right. So 10th and 12th is what you gave just the boards separately?
Yes, so I did that as a private candidate in Cambridge University. So
Okay.
yeah.
And looking back, you think it was one of the best decisions you took?
Yeah. Definitely. So, I mean, it's not only that I got time for music,
Right.
but I got time to travel around, meet so many people, go to satsangs, and yeah, it was just a very rich childhood I've had. I'm very grateful for that.
Right.
And I could just take like 2 months off just to practice music.
Right.
With Appa.
Right.
So that would be impossible.
Correct.
When I went to school. So that was a big blessing. Yeah.
And I mean, between say from the 5th class till 10th class and 12th class when you did homeschooling, how did you organize your day? Because it's difficult to be, definitely you'll get a lot of time.
Yeah.
But also if you are distracted enough, you don't have a timetable.
Definitely.
You'll have to stick to something, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think I was super disciplined.
Right.
I did have vicissitudes in managing time until even like maybe 20.
Right.
So, but the good thing is I was quite an obedient kid. So I would obviously get distracted and do stuff unproductively. But overall, I think I was okay. I was not like just hooked to a device so much that, I just completely ignore my priorities types. I have done that many times, but it's very manageable. So, but again, thanks to my parents to keep me in track all the time.
Right.
And my father has very high standards when it comes to work ethic. Though I have flouted it hundreds of times, but to have someone that expects that level of quality in work is very nice. Even now, even like a tinge of complacency, I will know, immediately, okay, it's not just that I'll be disappointing Appa, but I'm just fooling myself types. That quality, I think, has been inculcated largely by my father. So.
Right. So, I think we need to bring in your father also into the podcast to make it more complete.
Yeah.
And I think we'll do that in part 2.
Yeah.
But in every musician's life, even when I teach, there is this first phase where you are really coming into touch with the Shrutis. And then you become tuneful. And then, as you keep learning over the years, there comes a point in time where it takes a step improvement.
Definitely.
And then you realize that your musical mind is, you have an evolved mind.
Yeah.
So take us through that transition of your musical mind.
Yeah. So for me, it was even the first few years of performing, I would say in some ways were mechanical. I would work a lot for each concert, and largely the practice was concert driven. Right. That's how it is for most of us when we start performing. Right. And because my entry into the performing circuit was quite early, it was a different story altogether. So, but
in what age was that?
So I started performing. My first concert was when I was 12, and so those few years where me and Appa would work a lot, he would coach me a lot, and we would work towards each concert thoroughly and everything. But it was never like I really loved music from the gut.
Right.
That transition happened, I think I was maybe 14, 15, 14, I think, or slightly earlier. It was when I was playing Sadhana at home, just practicing Sadhana. And suddenly I just started tearing up. Listening to my own Sadhana. It was not narcissism. It's just the power of music that, you're so moved by the nadam sound and music in itself. So that was a big turning point for me. And after that, many things that were just, done for the sake of it, started to have more purpose. Even just standing on a simple note started feeling so much more satisfying, all that. So that was a turning point. And then I think we have multiple turning points after each technical milestone is reached.
Right.
So let's say I used to at some point think that 140 BPM in Veena was impossible
Right.
to myself.
Right.
And then when I was able to do it after a couple of years, that was again a turning point. And your mind starts, thinking in different ways that was otherwise not possible.
Right.
So, and similar way, not only for speed, but other aspects. I think when we grow as a musician, especially in childhood, the growth rates can be quite steep, and then plateau steep. And the plateau stages, last, they're, how do I say it? You're waiting for the next
Right.
leap in growth.
Right.
And that those leaps become less frequent as you age.
Right.
So, but that is interesting. So each time that leap happens, something new opens up. So that's nice.
Absolutely. I see a lot of students drop out in the initial stage.
Yeah,
Because they want to sing songs,
absolutely.
right? Whereas coming into one with Anadam
Yeah,
and being able to sing at least Sarigamapadanisa in tune
yeah,
and in perfect Shruti
yeah,
is the first step to
yeah.
achieving anything in music.
And not only that, music is much like other fields. It's not like interest just sprouts from nowhere.
Right.
It is developed.
Right.
A lot of what we call interest and love for music is developed.
Right.
The more you slog, the more you become interested in it. Just like how when we understand math problems more, you suddenly feel more interested, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it's very important as, when guiding children or students in general, it's very important to push
Right.
and not just say that, oh, they're not interested in playing the Veena now. And they're not, they're not in the mood for practicing. That's all just,
Right.
completely to be avoided.
Right.
This is all wisdom and retrospective thing. I feel that if I had had a more rigid routine,
Right.
I would be better off. Well, my routine was not that rigid.
Right.
So, but I think it's very important for parents and gurus to push and say you just got to do it.
For the depth.
And a lot of the aspects in instrumental music, especially, the practice is going to be very mechanical.
Right.
You're not going to dwell in some dreamy sur and achieve something. It's got to be very mechanical. You just got to do something thousands of times to get it done. So
there is this balance between, there is this very tasty fruit that is there.
yeah,
You need to climb the tree, and
Correct.
the process itself is.
yeah.
So, at the age of 14 was when you gave your AIR.
Yes, I was auditioned when I was 14, and then AR had some delays because of which I was only graded 2 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, I was given the A grade directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's talk through that, right? Because that's. Only after Mandolin Srinivas, that was actually the second time that I think AR did this or Madras Music
Yeah,
Academy did that.
academy.
So, did you even think that would happen? You would be given a top grade, or was it just an enjoyable journey for you? You were just practicing for 6 hours a day or 5 hours a day?
I think it was a combination of things.
Right.
I did consider that as one of the possibilities, but it was, for me, because of the way I've grown up, I think the attitude at home has always been, you work on your music,
Right.
performances come, you go do your job, you have a responsibility towards the audience, you fulfill that, but never in a way such that performance was the end.
Right.
Right? Music in itself was an end in itself. So that has been the attitude always. So because of that, maybe I never remember, be it an award or some recognition like this. It's never that I really look forward to it and was like tense if I get that.
Right.
It was never that.
Right.
Obviously, I was happy when I was, getting all that acknowledgement. But
Right.
yeah.
How was your schedule, Ramana? I think many students of music really struggle through how they should schedule music practice.
Yes. Yeah.
How they should go about a timetable by which they should practice.
Yeah.
To be able to get that depth.
Yeah.
right? So and maybe at a particular age you will be only be able to do that much.
Yeah.
So talk us through that.
I think that kind of evolves how you structure your practice, depending on where you are musically.
Right.
As you said, what your capabilities are physically at that point. For instance, initially I still have a set of things that I do every day. I mean, barring rest days or other free days.
Right.
At some point, I would just take one chittaswaram, like one composition or one, just do it for an hour in different speeds. And again, the key here is repetition, as we were just discussing. All the great masters who have gained that siddhi in their medium, be it voice or instrument, that aspect that, even like a few strokes, it pierces your heart.
Absolutely.
So that quality, I think, only comes when you do stuff like a mantra. So I used to have a bunch of things that not that I'm anywhere close to that, but I used to try to have that kind of a routine where I have some things that I do very regularly every day, like some kind of paltas or versais, then some very instrumental exercises, working on some blocks on my instrument. And I think anything that has to be second nature, you just have to keep doing it, be it musicality or virtuosity. So I used to have that. Now I have a different set of things that I do every day. And there are some things, if I don't do for 2 days, it's horrible to sit this third day. So there's some things, even if I don't do for, say, 10 days, I can manage. So, but I'm trying to switch it up a bit and find that balance. It's an evolving work in progress.
Right.
So,
and in the mind, I know because you have learned mridangam.
Yeah.
You learned vocal also.
Yeah.
And you have an instrument where you're able to visualize the note.
Correct.
And Veena is such a perfect instrument to be able to visualize each gammaka at the microtones and the 32 shrutis. You're able to really see.
Yeah.
All of that would have been integrated in your brain.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yes.
And between the age of 5 to 10, where you were through and gaining depth into each one of these, and Veena ultimately became your laya. I think laya would have innately got integrated into your music.
Yeah.
Right? And you are no longer bound to those standards, Sarali Janta, Dhatu Alankara.
Yeah.
You probably even started creating your own.
Yeah, that's what I used to do mostly, in fact.
Right.
Just create my own exercises, which I think challenged me. So, when you play, if you come across a certain thing that is impeding you from, having that flow that you have in mind, you create that into an exercise and you just keep doing it. So that block is taken care of.
Right.
So you identify as many blocks like this and make, exercises that you can repeat.
Right.
So
how do you balance between raga bhava and the aesthetics of a raga and the pure mathematics of, the permutations and combinations and matching the total numbers?
Yeah. So for the most part, I try to keep the maths that I do in a concert largely driven by the raga bhava. So let's say I'm doing a composition, I'm doing Swara Kalpana, and I want to end in an interesting way at one particular spot. Right? So my focus is to get the raga bhavam out and to see how I can meld layam with that. So in fact, that is one topic I'm very interested in, and I've done some workshops on it, and they've been great masters who pioneered this.
Right.
And so I try to keep it mostly like that.
Right.
If there is something mathematical going on, you would find as much ragam as possible embedded in it in my concerts.
Right.
There are moments in a concert where, because you are a laya rasika, it's more like you segue into that mode where you eschew ragabam. There you don't look for ragam, you look for something interesting in laya.
Right.
You don't have to expect the same thing in every part of the concert, right? Let's say I'm playing a very fast drut piece, or a very fast kalpana swaram in ragam Dana Pallavi.
Right.
There, if I'm playing at like there you won't expect the ragam or very poignant flavors
to come.
to come.
Right.
That's a different type of exploration.
Right.
So to expect this there, I don't think is right.
Correct.
So I switch between these modes.
Right.
And there are some times when I go quite mathematical and ignore the raga bhavam. But it's like a feat thing that we just want to enjoy as performers. So,
Right. And I mean, yesterday your performance here, where you performed Hecharikagara,
yeah.
right? And I very popular composition.
Yes.
I've heard so many perform.
Yeah.
But when I really observed you perform that, you were singing,
Yeah.
you were playing, and you were in a trance, and you were in a different world altogether. And it was in a slightly Vilambakala.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of Vilambakala because in Hindustani music you are hammered Vilambakala, right? So I really enjoy when you're able to see through and really experience the song. Where does your love for the slowness?
No.
I mean, was that a natural thing, or you felt influenced by?
I think it's again a combination of things. One, I used to be very fast, and I shouldn't say fast, but very rushed.
Right.
Many times, and then it took several iterations of critiquing from my father to get this slowness inculcated in my music.
Right.
And that I feel brings in this feeling of certain sense of healing or repose, which I personally enjoy. It's not done for the audience alone. I like it. That's why I do it. And mostly in my concerts, if I do something, it moves me. That's it.
Right.
I don't try to do something purely for the audience.
Right.
As much as possible. If it has to move me, and then only I will present it. This slowness, I feel a lot of our compositions gain a very different color, acquire a different color when slowed down. And many a time it brings in some unexplored colors of the ragam.
Right.
And in the Veena, it is very interesting to do that. And it's not that one fast version is right, a slow version is wrong.
Right.
It's just that it's nice to explore both. Yeah, you can have even 2-3 versions.
Absolutely.
For a single song.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, that would probably be how Tyagaraja would have sung it. Nidichala Sukhama. He would have really, each sentence he would have sung with that bhava.
Correct.
When King offered him the money and all of that.
Yeah.
So, where does your love for Hindustani start from?
It goes back a long way, actually. I think it was around maybe 15 that I used to always love Rashid Khan ji, Bhim Sen ji, and Ajay Chakrabarti ji.
Right.
I mean, I have many favorites, Amir Khan sahab. And then there came a point where I started listening to a lot of sitar. And there were many things that I wanted to try and adapt for the Veena. And so there are many Tanam aspects that I've tried to adapt from the sitar.
Right.
And the Jodishala. And some techniques, especially the pulling ones, like the ones Balachandran sir, S. Balachandran sir pioneered, inspired by the sitar, and stuff like that. So that really had a big influence on my music. And rather than trying to just emulate the same thing on the Veena, trying to see, okay, how can I adapt the technique and make it sound Veena?
Right.
It's again a work in progress. It's a very interesting journey.
Right.
And I just feel the dwelling that Hindustani music has, the focus in dwelling and sur, then the sound aspect, just an nadam, like just a shadja when held by a Rashid ji or someone, it just does something to you. I mean, we were just listening to Rajan Sajam Mishra ji, to Tilak Kamod. So I used to always be very enamored by music where there's nothing much technically happening, but it just like moves you to tears.
Absolutely.
So that aspect, it's not that Carnatic music does not have it, it has a lot of it. But just that the sur, the attention to sur and nadam, the proportion of attention given to that, which is more, I feel, in Hindustani, that was very inspiring to me. So just being absolutely tuneful and so.
Right. And you mentioned Pandit Rajan Sajan ji.
Yeah.
My own Guru Parampara. Rajan ji has always said, the silence between each phrase also is musical.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Which was once again very colloquially shared by Rajamama, my guru, also the very famous violin Padma Bhushan. So she also focused on the Vilamba Kala. So the repetition, the repetition of the phraseology, as well as the slowness in the playing, is what she absolutely used to stress on during the period where I spent with her. So I think the greats of music kind of second the philosophy when it comes to nada, and also enjoying your own composition, your own performance on stage, right?
Yeah.
So which Rajanji always used to mention that when they both perform on stage, they used to really enjoy both of their performances, and that's when the audience also gets the enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's 100% true. And you have to feel content with the music that you produce,
Right.
rather than trying to. This is just my opinion.
Right.
Rather than trying to say, okay, oh, here is what I can do. You might as well do like, oh, here's what I'm enjoying.
Right.
Right. So,
I mean, do you have anecdotes from your childhood? We also didn't talk about your gurus, to be specific, right? If you were to, like, in a chronological order, talk about who your gurus are.
Yeah.
So
my first Mridangam guru was Satyakumar sir in Bangalore, then Nagendra sir, and then Ranganatha Chakravarti sir, under whom I learned Mridangam. And then Amma, of course, at home, vocal and some very basic Veena. And then Nagalakshmi ma'am, under whom I learned for 3 years, my first Veena guru.
Okay.
And Appa, of course, my music guru. And with Veena, 90% of the techniques and playing aspects that I focus on today are something that I've had to discover myself over the years of sitting with the Veena. But yeah, and I did learn for a brief while. I had some vocal lessons from Neela Ram Gopal Mami in Bangalore as well. So,
okay. Any anecdotes that you remember during all of this time where you felt like an aha moment?
Aha moment. Well, there are some moments in the kacheris that I've played which have stayed with me for a long while.
Right.
Moments where I just felt very spontaneous and was able to take that next level of risk and actually get something done. And I was always inspired to try stuff on the spot, and a lot of my work also is in seeing how I can increase the hit rate of doing things on the spot. And so that's an interesting challenge that I like to put to myself. There was one kacheri when I was around 13. It was a concert for Nuchur Narayananji in Calicut, where I started playing the long swaram. And the first time I played with my childhood heroes in Mridangam, Pati sir and Anantaji, Anantarkishanji, those were very special too.
Right. Yeah. And Patriji plays with you a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. You are his favorite as well. Kind of seems through the chemistry that you share on stage even yesterday.
So,
he probably
privilege and absolute delight to play with him.
Right. And let's go back to discipline, focus, schooling, right? Because based on your journey, I also wanted students of today, music students, as well as schoolgoers, parents, to take inspiration. Even schools, because in schools today you don't see music as a subject. And the only possible medium that students could learn music is they search for a guru. They look for somebody who's in and around their building. Go to them and learn. Do that for 4 years and then see progress is not happening, and then look for some place else and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of hit and miss, and then life goes on,
Yeah.
and the school life is over. So there would probably be a lot of geniuses along the way with, immense talent,
Yeah.
who at the lack of not getting a guru might not really transform themselves to be good musicians. How do you and one of the things that I felt could be art education in schools,
Yeah.
where kids are being nurtured right from their childhood till the end of the school. um, what do you think about that? What do you feel?
Definitely. I mean, see, one of the peeves that many of the 40s and 50s generation have against the Gen Z kids is that I mean, I'm Gen Z, I guess.
Right.
So, but a lot of us, we end up listening to only pop music.
Right.
And, it's nothing wrong. Everything is nice. Listening to all sorts of music is good. But it's also nice to acknowledge and respect and admire the immense, rich musical culture that we have in India.
Right.
And to inculcate that, I think yes, first you got to have parents play classical music at home since childhood. That's probably the first step. And then yes, as you say, just maybe half an hour of just exposure to our music.
Right.
And if someone can, instead of just saying, okay, 40 children, let's just learn Sarigama, to even just have guided listening sessions in schools, saying, okay, why is this piece of music special?
Right.
To even say things like, to do this, Shivka, I don't know, like Ravi Shankar ji had to practice for 100 hours for a minimum. Simple things like that might inspire the kids to at least take a look, take a deeper look at our music. And maybe some things like that should be interesting to try.
I mean, obviously your journey once again has been shaped in large part by your father.
Yeah.
Especially the schooling part, right? It's a courageous decision.
Definitely.
And if you were to advise parents of today, and I met another kid who was Charulata Ramanujamji's student. He's of the age of 12, and he plays amazing violin. I'm not getting his name, but he also has you as his inspiration.
Oh,
so he is also basically, after 5th standard, he told his mother, I won't go to school anymore because I'm not getting time to practice. And to me, he seems like a very mature kid. I feel, the 6 years of music has played a large role in him actually transforming to a much matured person. Which today we don't know if music was absent, would he have been so mature?
Right.
So, how do you see music as shaping your thought process? Right? I mean, if you look back, maybe everything would seem pretty natural to you, but help break it down as to what influence it had on your mind, on your focus, on your thought process, on your maturity of thinking, right? What impact music had on you and how did it evolve?
I think the first thing is, see, to have an anchor like this, a serious pursuit like music as an anchor in one's life is a big blessing.
Right.
People in their 25s, struggle to see where their heart is. For me to know that, okay, for me, music is one thing that gets me going or gets me interested or fascinated about. That was a big thing. And I have many relatives and friends who, might not have just, it's just what I'm trying to say is that to have something like music and to be able to do that, something which I love, as part of also making a living,
Right.
which is a big privilege.
It's a blessing. Yeah.
Absolute blessing. And that, of course. And then music has always been one of the escape routes for me.
Right.
I was into origami, magic tricks, nature walks, all that. But music was definitely up there. And I would be obsessed many days, just doing something or the other. And when you catch hold of an idea, you want to develop it as much as possible and see where you can go with it, all that. That's a very big blessing to be obsessed with something serious.
Right.
And not something detrimental to one's life is itself a big blessing.
Right.
It might be programming, it might be music, anything. Right? That is one. The other thing is being in Tiruvannamalai. I've practically grown up in Tiruvannamalai, I guess. Though I spent most of my childhood in Bangalore, I used to keep visiting Tiruvannamalai.
Okay.
Spend a lot of time in the Veda Pathashala. And there's so many people, deep souls there who no one knows about. They just do their own inner work quietly. And when you go there, you're a zero, and then no one really cares about you. And there's always this attitude that beyond music, there's something much deeper to hold on to, even if all of this dwindles down and fails.
Right.
And that music is a very small part of one's life, of anyone's life. It can be a very serious pursuit. It can be done as upasana, it can be done as sadhana, whatever. But it is still, I'm just speaking from more how it's easy to fall into the trap of taking oneself seriously as a performer. Right. So that is thanks to Tiruvannamalai, the satsanga, my parents, the bringing up the friends and all that. And I've gotten such beautiful friends through music, and that's something I'll never forget.
Right.
And in fact, most of my friends are through music. So yeah, that's something.
You seem to be very influenced by Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah, it's more like I've said the same thing many times, but it's okay. Right. It's like the strongest anchor in my life, because anything since childhood, it's almost like Bhagavan is there.
Right.
It's his will, it's his action that is taking us forward. It's just a very strong faith, and to be exposed to his teachings and various other saints' teachings, and is all a big blessing. It's just something that is very grounding, and we really enjoy the presence and feel very blessed to be amidst that presence in Tiruvannamalai.
Right.
And in the Maharishi's shrine and whatnot. So yeah, it's just
yeah, absolutely, spiritually very uplifting. Do you see innovating on the Saraswati Veena? What are your thoughts about taking up maybe Rudra Veena maybe in the future?
It'll be mostly like something that I dabble with rather than to take up seriously.
Right.
Because I have like an ocean of things that I want to work on.
Right.
It's going to take a long time and keep me busy for the next, I don't know, how many years. And it's just going to get deeper and deeper. The more you dig, you find that there's more depth.
Right.
So definitely, I'm someone that listens to various genres of music. I love to try instruments, and even in my Carnatic concerts, I'm not someone that is a big stickler when it comes to rules. I respect the idiom. I respect my responsibility. I know where my boundaries are.
Right.
But those boundaries are also evolving, and it depends on what you feel that day, and I'm willing to take those leeways.
Right.
So if let's say a certain phrase or something is outside the boundary,
right,
by the norm, going by the norm, by going by the norm. But let's say at that moment I feel so one with that phrase, I will just play it.
Right.
After all, see, my goal in music is to feel joy.
Right.
When I do music.
Right.
I'm not doing music to be like represent this as correctly as possible. I just want to feel good.
Right.
And I feel Carnatic music is a beautiful medium for me to do that. It gives me the freedom to do that. And there is so much richness in the idiom itself, which is left to us to discover. But in that process, if I find something interesting or just moving, I will do it without thinking. And I think I'm at a space where I have that freedom to do it. I'm very blessed that way. And the instrument especially gives me more scope for exploring those directions, because as a vocalist, you have some limitations when it comes to exploring sounds.
Absolutely.
But as an instrumentalist, you have more freedom to do that.
So. Absolutely. And one thing I felt with Rudra Veena was the meend was more pronounced.
Yeah.
where you slide from one note. I'm not sure. You are the
Yeah.
expert here.
Meaned within the fret is more pronounced in Rudra Veena and Sitar.
Okay.
Meaned across frets is more pronounced in Saraswati Veena.
Okay.
The reason being, I don't know about the Rudra Veena, but surely I know about the Sitar because I dabble with the Sitar now.
Right.
Thing is that the sustain that you have within a fret is I mean it's good in sitar, but the sustain that you have across frets is not much in sitar.
Okay.
So when you pluck the string while having your fingers on a particular fret and slide across frets, the sound dies faster than the veena.
Right.
So the veena has both sustain within the fret and across frets. So that gives you some interesting options. I am yet to play the Rudra Veena, so I know
Right.
I do. So,
Right. I mean, I asked this because as a student of musicology, I had one of my colleagues who was a Rudra Veena player. He's also a student of musicology. So they research instruments.
Okay.
And as we look through the history of music, Hindustani, basically in the 16th century, the Khyal emerged from the Dhrupad.
Yeah.
And Carnatic, basically, I think as much as people remember, we have the Trinity, and before that the Chaturdandi Prakashika of Venkatmaki. So beyond that, I don't really see today's generation going beyond that. But if we see how the Raga Raginis were there, say 500 years back, there was a raga called Bhairava, for example, which was not, nobody knows if it is Carnatic or Hindustani, because so many years back you cannot even listen.
Right.
You have a pramana like a sculpture.
Right.
So you know how people at that point in time used to sculpt or paint. But you don't have a recording.
Correct.
So all you have is Shastra from which you will interpret. So that's why, people like you become very important for the music community at large, because today when I heard you play Shuddha Sarang, there were some sangatis which you played which seemed a little bit uncommon to me.
Right.
Which was a reinterpretation of music, and it sounded beautiful. And you brought it beautifully into a Karnataka Anga, not completely Carnatic music, not 100% Hindustani as well.
Yeah.
But it sounded beautiful, Ramana. And that's probably how music evolved, right? And if we basically put these barriers and
Correct.
delving into
And I think there are schools of thought which say, okay, even when it comes to Patantaram, for instance, when you learn a song from your guru, one thing is to say, okay, I'm just going to stick to this exact version that I got. The other thing is to say, okay, what can I bring to the plate now?
Right.
And of course, without keeping in mind what the composer's spirit was when composing the song, and some musical sensibilities that grow over time. All that, given that all those are in place,
right.
I like to think that, okay, what can I bring to this song, right? And as long as it allows me to connect to the song better, why not, is my position on this. If it allows me to connect to the song better and convey that experience better to the audience, I'm okay doing it. Again, it's just no right or wrong. It's just one's choice to say, okay, I'm just going to stick to the version I got from my guru and this. Yeah, the other point though is the version that we learn from our gurus or a recording or whatever, that has gone through so many iterations. We don't know what the original was.
Absolutely.
And when there's so much ambiguity there, to say that this is right, this is wrong, you did this sangati that is wrong and hence it's not authentic, I find that discussion irrelevant.
Right, absolutely. So, we're concluding this.
Yes.
And as a last question, what would be your vision for, for your own playing the Veena, and where do you want to take the Veena playing, and you as a musician, how do you really see yourself?
I feel there are a lot of myths and misconceptions around the Veena, and I've had many, even musicians tell me that, and many Rasikas share that. So one of my main focuses has been how to try and break those myths. And I mean, I really don't know. Many of this, as I said, I myself thought that with respect to speed, there were some limits. And then you realize, okay, maybe I'm just not good enough, right? So there are many things like that, especially in Veena's evolution. So I want to try and see what I can bring Perhaps there's an innovation there. And innovation is not something that you fix and then achieve.
Right.
It has to happen organically.
Organic.
It's just the intent, right? And I have some goals for me, very technical goals. If it's doing an alapana, I have some, guidelines, and then short-term goals that, okay, I want to, when I do this kind of a raga, I know that I'm not producing these kind of ideas, so I want to improve there, stuff like that.
Right.
And there are some long-term goals, like I have to, hopefully give Veena, a new soundscape, or a latent soundscape that has been not discovered just yet.
Right.
And that process is very interesting. People like Balachandran sir did that.
Right.
And he stretched those boundaries. And I feel there are many boundaries waiting to be stretched as well. So that is an interesting journey that I want to be. And even in musicality, it's always nice to, when you get an appreciation from a musician,
Right.
it's nothing like it,
Right.
So that is that. And then also balancing what you think is deep or what you think is brain tickling or intellectual.
Right.
Melding that with bhavam, and also making sure that your audience is engaged.
Right.
Finally, we are performers, right? I'm a performer, so I have a responsibility towards my audience. So to find a balance between all these is a work in progress. So that's something that I hope to strike a better balance in, hopefully. So
Absolutely, Ramana. I mean, there is Ananda and then there is Brahmananda.
yeah,
So, I mean, that is, bliss is a word to
yeah.
say, when I heard your concert yesterday,
Thank you so much.
you really caused so much of internal happiness
I'm so glad.
with your Veena playing and your total involvement. The last time I heard an instrumentalist sing like that was Lalgudi Jayaraman.
Yeah,
We used to sing a little bit before he played, so the song kind of goes
Correct.
into it. I think you do great service with
all your
this-
wishes and
with really being involved in this art. So thank you very much again
my
for
pleasure.
spending your time
yes.
and sharing your thoughts. And we hope to do another.
Yes. Sure, Anna. Yeah. Thank you.